Guys, this is a video about DistroKid. I've used so many distributors. I've used RootNote, I've used TuneCore, I've used, well, you name it, I've used it. I've used small local ones, I've used Lander, I've used them all, basically. But the one I keep using is DistroKid. And this video is going to describe 5 reasons why I think this is the best distributor out there. And at the end of the video, if you watch to the end, I'll give you one reason why you may not want to use it. So anyway, as most people know, DistroKid is a service, and the cheapest I think you can pay for it is around the $22, $23 mark per year for a single artist, right? If you have multiple artists like I do, you're gonna pay around the $70 mark. I have just under 10 artists. So it does cost more for more artists. So that's one thing to consider. However, for that single artist or multiple artists that you have, you can release unlimited songs. Check this out, right? These are all the songs I have released in the last year. That is just mental. And you know what? I could have gone harder. I could have released double or even triple the amount of songs. Now, for a single price, that can be really good value. If you're only going to release one song a year, maybe this isn't for you, but most artists I know want to release music, and I would recommend that you release as many songs as you can, because really there's no downside to it at all. So that's number one. Number 2 reason, and for me, this is probably the most important one, DistroKid has the fastest upload times I've ever seen. Some other distributors might take 2, 3, 4, even more weeks to distribute your song. Before they do it, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Where did you get your artwork from? There's samples in this. They come back and say, oh, we didn't like this aspect of the song. And there's all of this interruption happening. I've never had that with DistroKid. DistroKid just accept your artwork. They accept the song. I think maybe once or twice they've asked me a couple of questions about the song, but generally over the many years that I've used them, they don't ask questions. They just accept what you've done. Then you can just upload the song. It's kind of like this no hassle thing with DistroKid. But the thing is, the clincher is once you upload it, the next day it's there, right? So this song here, I Want You Now, I uploaded it, I believe last Thursday. The next day it was in Spotify. The next morning. So nothing's that fast, right? No other distributor, from what I've seen, and you may want to dispute what I'm saying in the comments, no other distributor is that fast. For me, that matters. And why does it matter? I'm going to tell you why. If you're planning releases to be released on a Friday and you want to submit your songs to editorial playlists and you want to get a review going and you need time to do it, the last thing you want is the amount of time the distributor takes to be longer than the amount of time that you've got, right? You want to plan. This thing helps you plan, right? Because you know exactly when the song's going to go out. So for planning purposes, if you're a planner like me and you've got very strict timetables like I do, this is really important that the song just comes out with no hassle. So number 3 is what DistroKid is famous for, which is 100%. You keep all your royalties. It's 100% yours. Many of the others will take 10, 15%. Most are taking 15%, to be honest. I think if you're a really small artist, that may not matter so much. If you are a bigger artist or you want to grow, you're planning to grow, or you're getting a significant amount of streams, it does matter, right? It does make a difference. People are taking money away from you all the time. So why do you want more money to be taken away from you? So 100% of the streams for me is one of the key selling points really for DistroKid. It's one of the main reasons I use them. So number 4 is some of the functionality, particularly around the collaboration and splits. So if you have a look here, there's a section called splits, and it's really easy to do splits with people. So we can have a look at the splits for that song. You can see here, I've given 40% to another collaborator and 60% to myself. And it's just so easy. You can just add as many collaborators as you want, as long as everything adds up to 100. And you can also add recoupments. Recoupments are basically an amount of money that you're going to get first before everyone else gets, right? So for example, you may have invested $200 or $300 or $500 into ads, right? You want to recoup that before you do the split. So for splits, it's super good. So the other thing it does, which I think is really good, is this helpful when needed section. There's a thing called fixer. Basically what will happen there is if your song's basically put onto the wrong artist page, maybe your name sounds similar to another artist, this is where you can fix it. And then audio swap, you can actually swap out the audio track on a live release. So that is just kind of mental to me that you can do that. I don't think you could do that with any other distributor. And if you can, please put that into the comments because I'd like to know how and who does that. The other thing it does, which I think is really useful, is this hyperfollow page. The hyperfollow page is just unbelievably good, right? Basically, the minute that your song comes out, you get a link, right? You've got a link like this, and it's a pre-save link. And that basically, you get that straight away. There's no ifs or buts about it. And you can even customize it. So for example, we click on that customize page, you can edit the page, we can add a bio, we can add locations, we can add links, we can add social media links, we can embed a video from YouTube. The other thing you could do is you can also add a pixel for Meta and for Google. So if you want to use this as a landing page for ads, you can basically track it using pixels, which is super cool. The other thing I wanted to show you is when you go into a track and click on edit release, it's really, really good. Like what I mean is you can change the artwork, you can change the song title, you can change the version of the song. You can do this after you've already submitted it. Yes, afterwards. So as I said, I don't know any other distributor that can actually do that other than DistroKid. Now, finally, the last thing that I really love about it, and I've not seen this anywhere else, is lyrics. So you can add your lyrics to a song. So it does two types of lyrics. It does just sort of standard lyrics. So it sends lyrics to all of these platforms up here. So it does plain lyrics. You can see here, you just type your lyrics in. And once you've added your plain lyrics, you can do your sync lyrics. And this is where the real value is, in my opinion. With sync lyrics, it's so easy to sync the lyrics, right? So all you need to do is start by holding your spacebar down, release your spacebar, and delete if you mess up, and reset. So all I've done is press the spacebar whenever I've heard the line, and that's synced the lyrics. This would take you maybe 3 minutes to do it. Well, the length of the song, basically. Once you finish this, it does it for you, and it's just brilliant. So you waited to the end to hear the one thing I didn't think it was very good for. So for example, I've got this song here called I Need a Miracle, which is a cover of a pretty famous song. And the thing about covers is you need to buy a cover song license. With DistroKid, it's about $10 and it's yearly, right? So if you're doing a lot of covers, say you're doing 20 or 30 covers a year, that's going to cost you more than $200-300 a year. The more covers you add, you're going to have to keep paying the licenses for all of those covers. So you can imagine how expensive that could be if you're doing mostly covers. But what I tend to do is if it's a cover song, I might first release it on DistroKid, pay the $10, and then if the song is performing well, I'll keep paying the money. If it's not performing well, I'll move it to root note. You don't need to pay on root note. So if there's anything kind of negative about DistroKid, is it does have these hidden charges, but they're not necessary. If you're interested in joining DistroKid, use the link in my description because that link will give you 7% off. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you agree with me that it's the best? Do you not agree with me? Do you have any horror stories to tell? Or do you think it's really good? Comment if you've got any opinions at all about DistroKid.